Judge, don't grant us a divorce because I don't want one. Is it possible to divorce someone in Georgia without their consent or without them even knowing that you've divorced them? This question comes up often, and a lot of times one party has filed for divorce while the other party really does not want to get divorced and would just like to be able to object and say, Judge, don't grant us a divorce because I don't want one. Unfortunately for that person, eventually the divorce is going to be granted even without their consent, as long as they have been given proper notice and have been given the opportunity to appear in court. And when they show up in court and they say, I don't want this divorce, it's not going to prevent it. Here's why. The judge is not there to determine whether or not the divorce should be allowed. The judge is there to determine how the divorce should be completed, meaning what happens with the party's money, property, and kids. If a judge were allowed to decide whether someone should be able to get divorced, that would mean that they could force someone to stay married to someone that they no longer want to be married to, actually trapping them into marriage, and that is not going to happen in Georgia or any other state. The question of notice of the divorce filing can be a bit trickier, however. The normal procedure is to file for divorce and serve the other party notice by having a sheriff or a private process server hand them a copy of the petition, informing them that they've been served with a legal case. This gives them official notice that the divorce process has started, and the party who was served then has 30 days in which to answer. Alternatively, that party can sign a document acknowledging receipt of the petition, or they can have an attorney that they've hired acknowledge service for them. However, what if you do not know where the person is and you have no means of contacting them? Is it still possible for you to get divorced even though you can't reach them to let them know that you're filing the divorce? Or will you be forced to stay married to a person you have absolutely no contact with anymore? And the answer is yes, you can get divorced even without being able to reach them, though it's a bit cumbersome. But you will not have to stay endlessly married to that long gone spouse. So here's how it works. The court requires that you make a diligent effort to find your spouse and notify them. This includes conducting an online investigation, contacting their relatives if possible, tracking down all their last known addresses, searching them on social media, and demonstrating to the judge that all reasonable efforts were made to locate the person. Now, after all of that, if you still can't find them, you can then request a court order to notify them. Then, after all of that, if you still can't find them, you can request a court order to notify them by publishing a legal notice in the local legal newspaper. If there is no response from the other party to this notice of publication, then after a required period of time, which is typically about 60 days, the court can proceed with granting a default judgment for divorce. Now, while this process is the last resort, sometimes you just have no other choice. So, circling back to the two questions I started with in this video. Yes, you can get a divorce from the other party even if they don't want you to. And yes, you can get divorced without your spouse even knowing, but only under the circumstance of them being completely unreachable after a good faith, diligent attempt to locate and serve them, and only with the court's permission.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to click subscribe, like, follow, and turn on the alerts so that you'll get notified when we post our latest videos. Please share these videos and leave us comments and ask us questions. Also, join our Facebook group at Georgia Divorce and Custody, and I'll see you again on the next video.